There was a time when the city of Gildengrave was alive, its streets bustling with the hum of mechanical marvels. Great airships hovered above, powered by gears and steam, while clockwork automatons marched in perfect rhythm below. At the heart of it all was Magnus Calloway, the greatest clockmaker the world had ever known. Magnus wasn't just an inventor, he was an artist, crafting machines so intricate that they seemed to breathe life. But his crowning achievement was a clock unlike any other. It was called the Eternity Dial. The dial wasn't just a timepiece, it was said to control time itself. With its gilded face and hands forged from starlight, it could turn back the hours, freeze a fleeting moment, or rush time forward. But such power always comes with a cost. They say Magnus became obsessed with his creation, pouring every ounce of his genius into perfecting it. His workshop, once a place of inspiration, became a prison of gears and shadows. And then, he vanished. The Eternity Dial was sealed away, hidden deep beneath Gildengrave. Magnus left behind a warning carved into the metal of his workshop. Do not turn the hands. Time demands its due. For decades, the warning was heeded, and the dial remained untouched. But stories like this, they never stay buried. Enter Eliza Thorn, a daring thief with a knack for breaking into places she didn't belong. Eliza had heard the tales of the Eternity Dial and couldn't resist its allure. She wasn't interested in power or glory, just the reward she could fetch for delivering the artifact to the highest bidder. One stormy night, under the cover of thunder, Eliza slipped into Magnus's abandoned workshop. The air inside was heavy, filled with the scent of oil and rust. Machines long forgotten stood like sentinels, their gears frozen in time. At the center of the room, beneath a glass dome, sat the Eternity Dial. It was more beautiful than she had imagined, its hands moving with a strange, deliberate grace, as if the clock were alive. Eliza's fingers itched to touch it. The moment her hand brushed the glass, the room seemed to shift. The walls groaned and the air grew cold. A voice echoed around her, low and mournful. You should not have come. Eliza froze. Magnus? She whispered, her voice trembling. The shadows coalesced into a figure, a man with hollow eyes and gears turning within his chest. It was Magnus Calloway, but he was no longer entirely human. Time is not a toy, he said, his voice laced with regret. The dial does not grant power, it takes it. Every second it moves, it drains the life of the one who turns it. Eliza stepped back, her heart racing. Then why create it? Magnus's gaze darkened. I thought I could master it. But time is a force beyond our control. It demanded its due, and I became its prisoner. He gestured toward the dial. Leave now, and forget you ever found this place. But greed whispered in Eliza's ear, louder than Magnus's warnings. She reached for the dial, her hand closing around its ornate key. I'll only turn it once, she said, a nervous smile on her lips. Just enough to see if the stories are true. As the key turned, the room exploded with light. The gears of the dial spun wildly, and the world around Eliza blurred. She saw moments flash before her, childhood memories, fleeting glimpses of the future, and fragments of lives she didn't recognize. The light faded, and Eliza found herself standing in the same room. But something was wrong. The workshop looked older, decayed. as if centuries had passed in an instant. And Magnus was gone. Eliza turned to the dial, only to see her reflection in its face, aged, with streaks of silver in her hair. She stumbled back, panic rising. A whisper filled the air. Time demands its due. Eliza's heart sank as she realized the truth. The dial hadn't just taken time, it had stolen it from her. The story ends as Eliza, now bound to the dial like Magnus before her, watches the hands turn. The workshop becomes her prison, and her warning joins Magnus's on the walls. Do not turn the hands. Time cannot be undone. Thanks for joining me on this journey through today's story. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more tales like this, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when a new story drops. Until next time, stay curious. See you in the next tale.